who are doing interesting things. So I'm always here. I'm also known as the help desk of Mocha Cup. Very happy to serve our clients and meet everyone whenever I can. It's so much fun working with the community and working with Carol, especially. I am a serial entrepreneur, um, definitely neurospicy in a lot of ways, raising two neurodivergent children and enjoying everything to do with entrepreneurship and, taking care of my family. I have a master's in business, an MBA, and I definitely use it to the fullest.
That's great.
I don't want to say how many different jobs I have because I feel embarrassed sometimes, but
You
I
should be
have
proud.
I
Mhm.
do a lot of different things and they all make me really happy. The most recent little thing I'm tinkering in, Carol let us know about working more with AI and how to use that in
Mm.
business. And so I was able to go to a business meeting. It was really interesting. And I've just been building apps and doing all kind of automations. And I've decided I'm going to start a dating app.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I have been tinkering with that for the
Oh,
past like 2 weeks. And I'm just
It's
having a
very impressive.
blast.
It looks
I'm
beautiful.
just having a blast.
that's
So
fabulous.
thank you. It's fun. And I already have some people in my inbox wanting to know when they can sign up. So I'm like, hold on, I'm testing it. Let me just make sure. So once I
That's
do
great.
that, I just got to figure out marketing, which I would feel for me as an opportunity is to be a better marketer and to put myself out there and to just not be afraid to let people know what I'm doing. So,
Hmm. Mm.
yeah, Carol definitely helps with that. And just the inspiration I get from all the women that come through the Mocha Cup is so helpful. So, that's why I'm glad we have you, Regan, to talk to us about your journey, your story, what you have going on, business, motherhood. I have a couple questions, but whatever's on your heart is what's most important to us.
Okay.
And Carol.
Oh, see, you were doing real good with that segue, and then
Oh, then she switched to
pulled out the
you.
whole CV too. Did you see
Carol was
that?
like,
Let me
yes,
just say.
yes.
All right, okay. I guess we're gonna have to go down that road. All right, I am Carol Davis. I am the founder of Mocha Cup, the Mocha Cup. I've been a social worker for the past 40 years. 40 years, 40. And man, talk about growing through different iterations of yourself through a career. It has been a journey. I have enjoyed every moment of it. There have been amazing highs and lows of, just helping people through difficult times and being able to, like place children in homes and knowing that you've made a difference, or being able to talk to people in war zones and being able to make a difference. And so over the time, I've noticed that there wasn't a space for those of us that were just kind of like quirky, like, we don't really fit in with a whole lot, but we've got a lot going on. Our
Mhm.
minds are busy and we just ideas and all the things. And imagine my surprise as I'm talking and helping somebody else that I start noticing a little pattern here. And I'm like, huh, I remember being a young kid and kind of being, have somebody told me that, she's just disconnected. She's in her own little world. She doesn't even care. And I'm like, oh, okay. So and so I went ahead and
Wow.
did like a little self-screener, and I'm like, oh, late diagnosing. Okay, good to know. Like the therapist now has our own diagnosis. So I am a very neurodivergent, with some autistic traits as well. And I own that. I love that. I always say that it is not something to be fixed. It is something to be understood. It is something to be supported, and it's something to be celebrated. And so that was the meaning of creating this community. I felt if I could not find the community that I wanted to belong to or could be accepted by, then I needed to go out here and create the thing that I needed. And so building that was just the beginning. But then Shannon came along and just took it to the next level and just brought all the people. And we have just had a really wonderful time in growing together and learning from each other and having these, discovery moments of, oh no, girl, that's real. You experienced that. Oh yeah, we went through that too. Here's how you deal with that. It's a supportive community, it's a caring community, a loving community, even because we love who we are. And we love being with other people that really are beginning to understand that you are gifted and it has been not utilized or understood in different environments. And so therefore you've been made to feel like something is wrong. But the truth of the matter is once you realize the gift of it all and you realize that there's a space for it and you just bloom and blossom, it's such an amazing thing to watch somebody come into that awareness of themselves. And so that is what the Mocha Cup is about. And it just brings me joy to be able to see everyone coming in and finding their space and their place and being excited about going back into their day-to-day community and showing up different, showing up stronger, showing up with a lot more enthusiasm and care and purpose about themselves and who they are today and who they are aspiring to be as they grow through this thing. So thank you so much, Regan, for being here. I appreciate you so
Wonderful.
much for your time. I'm
Oh my
so looking
gosh.
forward to this because we really need to hear your story and how your journey has impacted you and where you are.
Mhm.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me, inviting me. I was so excited to get the invitation. My name is Regan Ruiz, and I'm going to kind of back into who I am with the front end of how this all came to be.
Mhm.
My daughter is neurodivergent, and I learned that term from her. I'm like, what is that? So she gave me the rundown on that. Throughout her life, she had different diagnoses, and I feel like neurodivergent is perfect fit because she's kind of a cross section, very similar to Carol's diagnosis, which is to listen to that is like, wow, am I looking at a sky in an earlier, later version of herself? Like how fabulous, right? Right. Um, and so my daughter is one of the most creative, dynamic um humans I have ever met. Um, when I was pregnant with her, I remember feeling very much like that it was bigger than me, right? That
Mm.
the creator was definitely working the clay, and I was just honored to be the vessel. Like I understood the wholeness and bigness of that. It was just so much more than just me as an individual. So that was the very beginning stages of that through my pregnancy. And then, she's an incredible human. And we found Carol because when COVID hit, um, let's see, my daughter went to an amazing grade school, elementary school, high school, um, private school, and it was a great experience for her. She knew she was at a charter school and knew she needed a different type of school. But I remember thinking, wow, every child should be afforded this type of education. Um, so I was incredibly appreciative of that. But I remember during COVID, when they started to close down, and the country started to close down and schools started to close down, my daughter came to me and was like, I want to make sure I can have online therapy. I'm like, really? You want to? So she got in the queue so early at her school that by the time other kids caught on and parents caught on that their kid needed it, they had no more slots. So she was so far, she knew. She's like, I'm gonna need that going. And I'm like, what? Really? You think? She's like, yeah. And we signed up so early that she was one of the first people that, and she was able to have that, right? And so she liked that whole concept of the remote component of it, which is usually not the case. She likes to learn in a classroom. And so we started the search, and then we found Carol. And I was like, that's just its own blessing. But I also believe that, um, you gravitate, bring towards you what you are.
Mm.
And so it wasn't a surprise that Sky brought that towards herself. Right. So that's a blessing, and I'm thankful for that. And I just wanted to connect those dots for people that might be listening as to how that came to be. Now, on a totally separate, unrelated thing, I'm a businesswoman, right? In addition to being a wife and a mother, um, I'm a businesswoman, I'm a community member, I'm a family member. I'm I have a really interesting family background in that my mother is from a very um, maternal matriarch type of family. It's all women, and my father's family is patriarch, like seven boys, right? So I had this great balance of male female energy growing up. Um, I recently told my mother that, who, by the way, I'm going to just quickly say my mother is 81 and like at 79, she's like, I think might be on a spectrum. I'm like, well, what do you want us to do it now? You're 79. Whatever you've been doing, keep doing that. It's
Keep
been
doing it.
working. I don't know what to tell you. It's 79.
That's a good one.
But yeah, I mean, but I remember going to her and saying, I've lived this long not understanding that this is a very uh patriotic society, and that a lot of people don't love women. And she said that's because you grew up in a family of men that did love women,
Wow.
that respected women. And so I felt like I had been in a little bit of a bubble with that. Um the 2024 election kind of brought that home to me, that people have issues with women in power and strong women. And I wrestled with that. I don't, because I didn't, it wasn't super clear to me. So that came as a shock. And I felt like it was something I needed to relay to my daughter so that she could be prepared as she was moving through the world, that everybody does not think we're fabulous, right? And how do you manage those waters and build the life that you want for yourself?
Mhm.
Um, and being very clear about who you are and your strength. And you spoke to that, Carol, in your introduction, that like stand in those things that you are, because they really are superpowers, in spite of the world telling you that they're not. They are, right? Um, and I think it was important for me to get that lesson for myself, and also that so that I could pass it on to my daughter, because I think you have to be clear-eyed about that and how you're interacting with people as it relates to that. And then I had to tie that, uh, it made me rethink my business. We talked about that briefly as we were leading into this discussion, but I started to have to reevaluate how I was running my business. Just to give the listeners, viewers, a little bit of a background. I have a company called Atmosphere Home, and I primarily am an interior designer. That's what I do. That's my profession. But I have since, over the years, built the business out, relocated the business. My family and I bought property in Costa Rica and built our home there. I built my studio, my design studio there. But I'm also a lifestyle curator, and I believe everyone, no matter what your economic background, no matter what, if you are a human being, you are in, I believe, deserve to have comfort in your life in your environment. Um, I think everybody's entitled to space, no matter how big or small it is, that brings them a sense of comfort and peace. And I think that sometimes people don't realize that, right? And it's so my I've built a business on people coming to me to make space beautiful, but me also dialing that back and saying, what is it that you're looking for your space to be able to offer you? And some people are like, what? They're like, that's not I'm trying to get a paint color picked. But I'm trying to help them understand that it runs deeper than that. That I've walked into spaces that have the best of everything money can buy. I've had clients that have spent, $1,500 a square foot on countertops, like just insane, $10,000, elaborate things. And they're still looking for something. It's not the space is not serving them. And
Mhm.
so that's when I have to ask that, let's sit down, let's dial it back, let's determine what you are looking for the space to accomplish for you. Because all the trappings, all the material things aren't helping the space be what you want it to be. So that's where I start. And it's not for everybody. Um, I have a very sensory driven design philosophy that your senses are very much connected to your environment and how you're living your day to day life. Some people operate well in clutter, others don't. I'm self diagnosed OCD. I drive my family crazy. They put down a cup, I pick it up, put it in the dishwasher. They're like, I was still drinking out of that. What are you doing? What are you doing? Right. But, I know that about myself. And so I've been able to parlay that into my business.
Mhm.
Um, I've, always been, Shannon described herself as a serial entrepreneur. I would say that I am as well. I have, books in my queue and different projects. I try to, you know, get through them um, one at a time. Um, I'm definitely a person that's like, I know people that can read multiple books at once. That's not me. I need a beginning, middle, and end so
Mhm.
I can start again, right?
Mhm.
Um, but I think, you know, being a business owner, um, has definitely taught me to kind of drill down on what the needs of my clients are, so that I can deliver a good product for them. So
I
I
have a
kind of feel like I'm
question.
rambling. Sure.
Oh.
How do your clients come to the showroom in Costa Rica to look around to see? How does that
Hmm.
work exactly?
So, so the I'll give you a little bit backstory. When I first took the business to Costa Rica, I leased retail space because my thought was I'm new in this market. I want to have retail space because I have um product, right? I have decor and accessories. And so I use that retail space as a bit of eye candy to get people into my business. And then they found out I was a designer and they loved everything that was in the store and they would buy things and then hire me to do a space, right?
Wow.
So that worked out great. We did that for I like a 4-year lease, and that was great. And then um the demographic of the retail space I was in changed. It was in a beautiful little village type setup, and you'd have to walk past my store to get to this really cute cafe, right? And so, and I
Something
knew,
about that methodical.
yes, it was perfect, right? So people would have to walk by and they'd stop and come in, and then the cafe closed. And I was like,
Really?
Mhm.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah, you doing that? And where are you going? Can I follow you? Because you're taking all my foot traffic, right? So, but divine, the universe, if we just center ourselves, listen to the ancestors, listen to the universe, listen to the higher, greater, whatever that represents for us, it's going to lead you down the right path. Because I was in a panic. I was like, oh God, all the foot traffic's leaving. And we felt it immediately. My team, like, there's like nobody's been in the store in 2 days. It was crazy. But then I was at my house talking to a friend, another business owner, professional woman, and we were sitting outside. And she said, why don't you build your studio? She pointed right there because the lot that our house is on had a lot of space in the front. And I said, what? And she said, you should build your studio right there. And that's what I did.
Wow, that's amazing.
And that's what I did.
Awesome.
I contacted my contractor who built our house, and we have a like I remember when we built our house because I'm not from the house building. I'm a urban dweller. I'm a city girl. The newest house I ever lived in was 80 years old. Like I grew up in a Capitol Hill row house, right?
Mhm.
Like my mother and my sister and my nephew live in Manhattan in New York. Like I'm a
Wow.
city girl. So when people were talking about building stuff, I'm like, what you talking about? I don't do that. So we built this house, but I had very like it needed to be one level. And I remember telling the builder, I was like, I see in Costa Rica a lot of ghost houses, projects that got started on a grand scale and never got finished. And as a designer, I was like, I don't do that. And just as a person on a budget, I was like, that's not optional. We need a beginning, middle, and end,
Mhm.
right? And so the person that built the house, amazing guy, local Costa Rican Tico. Um, I came to him and I said, I think I should build my studio there. He's like, that's the perfect spot for it. And he worked on it and was building it while we were coming back and forth to the States because we still have ties in the US. Although I've totally transferred my business to Costa Rica, but built the studio there. And if you go on the website, there's a video on the first page of the website, and you can see the studio. You have a little tour of the studio. You have a little tour of, you know, my day to day life there, in the clip. And I tell people all the time, it's the best commute I've ever had in my life. I walk out my front door. I'm like 5 steps to my studio. It's just, but at the time, I say all this to say, when the cafe closed, I didn't see that. But the universe saw it. It was like, you're not going to leave here. You're going to keep staying here, paying a lease. So we got this thing lined up. We're about to close this cafe, about to close.
But
You
see,
don't know
I
why,
love that. I
right?
like how you had an obstacle and instead of like being stuck, you plan for the next.
Yes.
Yeah, because I
Hmm.
wasn't, more than anything, I was trusting the process. I
Hmm.
had I
Mm.
had done enough in my business to say, if this is happening, there's a reason. I can't see it right now, but I know it's for the betterment of atmosphere and it's for the betterment of me as a businesswoman. Had no clue that it was what it was going to be, but I trust the process because um my life has been a reflection of if you just settle in, take a
Mhm.
breath, and trust the process, even though you don't want to pack up your retail space and move. You don't want to do
Right.
that. You've got a team. Where you gonna put the team? So we worked remotely. We worked at my dining room table for, a few months until the studio was built, right? And from soup to nuts, from the time that happened to the time. It was 1 year. We were having the opening for the studio. It was built within a year.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
So,
amazing.
yeah.
Awesome. How long have you been in Costa Rica and why did you choose Costa Rica?
Okay. So I know this is not super, I'm not going to get deep into politics, but I'm going to tell you all the real reason because I'm going to be honest.
Hmm.
We've been there a little over 10 years, and I woke up election night 2016, the next one, in a panic. At the time, my daughter was 11, and she went to bed thinking she was going to have first female president of the United States. That's what I told her. That's what I thought, right? And that didn't happen. And I was like, when she wakes up, I need to tell her I got a plan. And it can't just be we go ride this thing out here. That was in 2016. My family thought I had lost my mind. They're like, "You're doing what?" I'm like, "This isn't, I don't like what I'm feeling. Something's not feeling right. I don't know how this is all gonna go, but I need a plan B. I need a plan B." My husband, who is brilliant and just an amazing human, when I told him, he's like, "You are overreacting." I said, "No, I'm not. And by the time you figure that out, we're going to be in Costa Rica." I know you think I am, but
That
I'm
part.
not. But I'm not. And he is such an amazing human that he has since come to say, his reasoning, he tells people differently while his reasonings for wanting to be in Costa Rica, but we needed a retirement plan, right? We were getting to that stage. And it just the time again, the timing, the pieces came together, didn't really know how
Hmm.
or why. And if that hadn't happened, probably wouldn't have done it 10 years ago. And if we had tried to do it now, where we ended up buying and building has it is so expensive to live there now that we have regular conversations about what will we do if somebody comes and offers us some insane money for our house, because like dollar reference, when we started looking at, you could get a lot for like 30K. You can't get an empty lot there for under $200,000
Oh
now.
my goodness.
So it wasn't even, that wouldn't have been an option
Hmm.
today, right? To, have just an empty lot. You need something to live in for that kind of money that's already got a bathroom or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And so again, the I was trusting the process. I was trusting my gut. I was trusting, believe strongly in my ancestral background. Um, at the time, my grandmother was not an ancestor. She is now. She lived to almost be 100 years old. And the thing I can say about the women in my life, no, I said my family was like, "What you're doing," but not the women. My mother and my grandmother were like, "Okay, I'm gonna need you to keep going with that. And when are you gonna get that? Is that done yet? You need to not ever." And nobody's perfect. I'm not saying I've got a perfect mother, like I'm not saying that, but I'm saying I have these dynamic women in my life that have never, I've never come to them and said I was going to do X, and they've been like, "That is so far fetched. Why are you doing that?"
Mm.
And I remember, like, in the process of building this project out, being like anxious and calling my mother. I'm like, "Oh my God, I don't know if my marriage is going to survive this." She'd be like, "Keep going. Don't stop. He going to be all right. It's going to be okay. But I'm going to need you to keep going." And I just think back on that, and it almost makes me emotional because that's such a gift. That is such a gift. Um, when you're doing something that is not the norm. It's not the norm. And, I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for that. And just having these resilient women around me. My godmother as well, also super, just like, whatever it is you say you gonna do, just go on and do that,
Mm,
because we know you can do that. So go ahead and do that. And
that's
on
powerful.
yeah, because on paper, I'm not from a wealthy family. I'm not from, but I'm from a family of women that are incredibly smart, and also that have always been global thinkers. They've always seen, even my grandmother, who was born in the 1920s, was always a global thinker. I remember being a teenager going to visit her in New York, and I walked in the house. I was like, "Hey, mother, how?" She's like, "I thought you said you flew up here." I said, "I did," and she looked at me. I had on like shorts and sneakers, but she was from an era where you dressed to
Good
travel.
stuff. Yes.
And she was like, "So you tell me you got on a plane like that?" She was just so outdone. But, a global thinker. It's so
Mhm.
early in life. So those things were, it's different families prioritize different things. My parents, both my parents, they're like, you can go to college or not go to college, but it is imperative. You have to have a passport. That is not optional. At a young age, when that wasn't, my mother lived outside the country for 35 years on. I mean, she was just living abroad, and it just, she's like, that's not optional for you not to have a passport. And I didn't give it any thought till I was older and realized when my mother was making that a priority, statistically, I think like 3% of the US population had a passport. And I don't even know what percentage was female and black. That number was probably
Mm.
even smaller,
Oh,
right?
yeah, definitely.
So, but I say all that to say that whatever the thing is, because everybody gets, you play the cards you're dealt.
Hmm.
Um, I look at the things that I have fed into my daughter, and that, I was just like, I can't wait to get out of school. I was like, oh, I'll take this C and get out of this course or whatever, because I'm a creative being. But I didn't give birth to somebody. She's very cerebral. She's a scientist. She would cry when she got a B, and I'd be like, what is wrong? You know? Take that B, girl. And girl, she's like, that's not
No.
acceptable. Right. And so and because I've given birth to a person like that, I understand that you can get all different components of that in the same household,
Yeah.
right? Like
Hmm.
there's no right, wrong. There's no, like, the personalities are different, and so learning to embrace that, and not trying to have anybody be other than what they are, I think
Hmm.
is an important thing. So.
I'm glad you mentioned that because both of my children, one's 19, so is she's an adult, obviously. Um, a, adult. She's 19. My son is turning 15, and they are both globally minded.
Mm,
They studied multiple languages. They
wow.
are just brilliant in different ways, and they want to live abroad. Like, no matter what mom and dad are doing, they want to live somewhere else in the world doing the things that they love. I want to know, since you're already in this space, what is it like having a relationship with a child, an adult child that lives in a different country? Like, how do you,
Yeah.
like, my brain, I'm just like, my daughter's going to Japan in 3 weeks alone. And I'm like,
Woo. How
silent
long?
scream.
How long will she be there?
Her ticket, she has a round trip ticket for 2 weeks to be there 2 weeks.
Okay.
But
And I
Carol
say, what if
asked
she
me
gets there
one
and
day,
decides to stay?
right?
What you gonna do?
Carol, I asked her yesterday, I said, you do plan to come back, right, on that return flight? She's like, Mom, what are you talking about? I have a job. Of course I have to return. And then a couple days later,
Good
she's like,
answer.
do you think I should quit my job? I think I might need
Ooh.
to quit my job. I was like, you know what? This is adding up to some shenanigans right now.
Okay.
Get your
So to,
life.
so to answer your question, okay, first of all, Japan is fabulous. Your daughter is going to love it. She is going to love it. I
Wow.
I went to Japan. My husband took me. It was a birthday gift. I didn't know.
Mhm.
And it's one of the few places that I have ever been that I did not want to leave. Like I was teary-eyed about leaving.
Yes,
What?
yeah. Thankfully, we
It
have been. We have been.
oh, as a family.
Yes.
Well, that's why she's going back.
It's all my fault. I
It's
know.
that's why she's going back. It is
You did
just
this to yourself.
yeah, you did. Yeah, I get it. But you know what? I think she will come back. I will, to answer your question about what that's like, I
Mhm.
think you kind of already answered it in that when you raise children that are global thinkers,
Mhm.
they're going to do that. They're going to live in different places. They don't see um their life is not insulary like that, right? The world is really is their oyster. And um I mean, look, I would like to say it gets easier, but they grow up and it's easier because they're living their own life. But Scott, she did her study abroad in Chile for 6 months.
I remember that.
Yeah, I
Okay,
know y'all do
okay.
because I thought I was about to lose my mind. I thought I was going to lose my mind. And I just was like, you're going to have to swallow all of that and sit with all that because she's not, she had, she was nervous and had some anxiety, but not to the point where she didn't go get on that plane. She was not, she's like, I'm going to Chile. You know what
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
saying? And I was just like, and I tried Shannon to like maneuver that. I was like, okay, if you're gonna go do a semester abroad, you need to live on campus. No, I don't want to live on campus. I want to live with a family that doesn't speak English, any English. I want a full immersion. I'm like, what are you saying to me?
What are you trying to do to me here, girl?
What you trying to do to me? You know, and so
Yes, that was fun.
Shoo, that sounds like my children all day long.
and I'm just here to tell you that I am starting to honestly believe that this whole neurodivergent thing, we got that thing flipped up. I think they are the ones that got it together. And the
Mhm.
rest of us
Catching up.
are like in the matrix. They got it together.
Mhm.
They are so clear on what their boundaries, what's comfortable, what's not comfortable, where
Yes.
I feel like the rest of the society is playing all these games about trying to pretend they're not going to pretend about what's comfortable and uncomfortable for them.
Mhm.
And I'm like, I think we got this thing all twisted up. I
I
think
agree.
they got this thing together and they are tapped in and authentic about their feelings and what they want and need. Like,
Mhm.
you know, I remember like being very, I want my daughter to be able to advocate for herself. And I was like, well, she don't have a problem with that. You probably had to learn that more than she did, right?
Right?
So I think that we are watching a new generation of humans evolve into their fullest self.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's so true. I
These
agree.
kids
And
are
We're
amazing.
learning from them.
no question about it. They they do not have the apprehension about the things that we have been programmed through society, just life in
Mhm.
general, to be apprehensive about, right?
Yes.
And to fear. They don't feel like they have to fear their fellow human beings on the planet, right?
Mhm.
um they feel like their home is the planet, where we've been taught to feel our home is a much smaller place,
Yes.
That's good.
right?
That's good.
A
Mhm.
country or a neighborhood, or they are like, well, there are people all over the planet, and people all over the planet should have food and housing, and not just us,
Right.
right? So
Mhm.
I think that that's a really good sign that our kids are moving through the world that way, because
Mm.
I think they are unknowingly deprogramming us in a
Mm.
good way.
Oh,
That's
thank you.
powerful.
Bars.
Yeah.
Bars.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
think they
goodness. Thank
I think they're
you. That was
doing
very
that.
inspiring.
So congratulations to your daughter, and to you and your
Whew.
family. I hope she has a amazing amazing time.
She's just skipping through the house, looking forward to. I have all these questions. I'm like, what about this? What about that? What about? And she's like, Mom, I'll figure it out. I'll ask someone. And I'm like,
I
That
know.
is
that's what I
just
taught her to do.
that's
What have
right.
I done?
That's
I
so
know.
good.
It's
That's so
Oh
amazing.
good.
my gosh. It's
That's
a
a
And
trip.
blessing.
it is a
Uh-huh.
blessing. And to know that we as parents can be okay. Like, the reverse happens to us. We worry about them being okay. And then you realize that they've always been okay. They're going to go and have the time of their
Yes.
life. And we are
Yes.
going to like worry about ourselves. Like, am I going to be okay? Am I going to be able to handle it?
Yes.
Like my son did the same thing. Went to Japan. Like, I just want to go do the thing. It's like, okay.
Right.
And so it was more of a, how am I going to deal with, that whole going away part, and am I going to be okay, because he was clearly just fine.
And
So
how long was he there, Carol?
I think he stayed about, was it 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, and they had a great time. They did all the sites and all the things, and it was a great bonding group of young adults that were just
Yeah.
neurodivergent, and they all got together. They didn't know each other from a can of paint, and they had a grand time. And I had
Mm.
to learn that it's not about me. Okay. I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to take care of that and just kind of like
Yeah.
pat my little nerves down, let that young man be a young man. And
Ooh.
and so we are learning, like you said, we are learning from them, and they are teaching us, our
Mhm.
idiosyncrasies and our inhibitions, and it's okay. It's
It
really
is.
so.
It is.
You're in good
Mm.
company, Miss Shannon.
Yeah, you are.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you
And
are.
I'm grateful though that the understanding is with me and I am connected with women who are helping me to broaden my horizons and be open minded, because I do remember growing up, I I was a gifted child as well, but my mother raised me with so much fear in her heart.
Mm.
She was she was a worrier. She worried about everything. And I do as well, but I bring that to therapy and I take it
Yeah.
out on my exercise routine. And
Yeah.
I don't, I try to prevent saying, like, oh, this is just wisdom. I'm worried because I'm wise. I'm trying to avoid those kinds of patterns that they do creep in sometimes. And I remember being younger and not doing a lot of things because I could hear my mom's voice telling me, don't be, don't do that. Be worried about this. Watch this person, watch these people, watch this place. You got to watch your back, watch your front, watch your side. It was always like a thing. And that I feel like that was a stronghold in my mind for a long time. that I think when my kids were little, I struggled with that more. And my husband is not that way.
Wow.
So the two of us together, he like helped me
Balance.
to
Yeah.
be like, take a breath, go to your therapy, because I
Yeah.
have been in and out of therapy since my daughter was a baby. But
Yeah.
it's like we need to handle our business as moms so that we don't stifle our children and all the things that they want to do.
So true.
It's true. And
Mm-hmm.
I will say that there is definitely a healthy level of worry that is just also like mother sensory thing,
Hmm.
right? Um, my mother once told me, she read a quote that having kids is like having your heart walk around outside of your body. I
Yes.
said, is that not woo?
Wow.
Hello. That is the truth.
That nails it. That
Doesn't
nails
it?
it.
It's like,
Hmm.
and that's what it feels like.
Hmm.
But I think that, and I just recently went through this. I was, in Costa Rica. Sky was in full graduation mode. Um, and was had been invited to a weekend beach graduation thing, a whole weekend thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was anxious. I was like, well, okay, I don't know how I feel about that, but I trust you. I trust your judgment. But Black women have a parental fear in a different way than just
Mm-hmm.
any parent,
Yes.
Definitely.
especially in this country. It's rooted in something. It's not just us being scared. You know what I'm saying? It's rooted in something.
Mm-hmm.
And my friend, I was out at lunch with her in Costa Rica. Amazing sister, American Brooklynite, and we met each other there. She,
Wow.
but the universe brought us together there. And she's like, you have to trust her. She's, clear thinker. She's gonna, if something's going on, she's gonna let you know. She went, she had a great time. It was great. We get back here, and it's not 2 weeks later, and the story of Nolan
Mm.
comes. And I'm like, see, this is where this comes from,
Oh yeah.
right? That's where
Mm-hmm.
that angst and that what and you know and all the same things. Put them in the right schools and make sure they have exposure to connections. At what cost? At what
Mm-hmm.
cost? And I said to my friend after that, I said, so you know that if what had happened with Nolan happened before, I would have been like, I'm sorry, I can't
Can't do that.
just let you do that. I'm gonna need
Right.
some more. And I'm just like, how, you know, I don't know. I struggle with maneuvering those aspects of the origin of my birth, where I was
Mm.
born,
Right.
right? I mean, I can go and live and be, but I was born somewhere and raised somewhere. And
Mm-hmm.
I am not, I don't have a mentality of wherever I go, it's just mine. I'm a guest wherever I go. It doesn't matter how long I'm there. I know that Costa Rica is not my country of birth. I'm respectful of the people, the culture, the land, the everything, like to the point of that's been gifted to me.
Yeah.
You're sharing that with me.
It's
And
humbling.
it's extremely humbling. I walk, my husband's Cuban, so he's fluent in Spanish. It's his first language. Sky is fluent in Spanish. She took it, went and lived in Chile to get immersed.
Hmm.
And I am not. I started to try to learn a language as grown ass woman, which is hard to do. Your brain is not even, able to take it. It's hard. But
Yes.
every place I go, I use the 25 words of Spanish I have. I string them together because I want the people there to know that I respect them. They don't owe it to me to speak English. I'm in their country, but that's not the norm. The Americans there it's so bad what the things they say, do. And I'm like, this is where the term ugly American came from.
Yes. Yeah.
You are over here just showing your whole backside.
I never heard that term before.
Ugly American,
Mm-hmm.
that's a
Oh, yeah, that's the
real
thing.
term
Real.
Wow.
because Americans, not all, but Americans will go places and feel entitled and take this mentality as, I mean, I've been in restaurants and heard people say, you need to speak English. I'm like, what? You're not in America. They
Yeah.
don't need to do anything.
Anything. You're in America.
Mm.
Yeah, I see
You're
that a
in the,
lot here in Mexico too,
do
where people
you?
will, yeah, they'll say things like, well, they don't have my thing here, or they should have this there, or why isn't it done this way? And it's like, because it's Mexico. It's not the
It's
US,
not the
right?
US.
Mm.
And so there's a humility about like, wow, how gracious. And yet, in spite of all that, you see this graciousness, this really caring, loving way that they embrace you and
I
recognize
know.
that you're still struggling, trying to figure it out. And just, like, they'll even like shift and say, oh, you speak English? I'll make it easy for you. Like, oh, that's so
Yeah,
kind. I appreciate that.
it's
But,
true.
I'm really trying here. And they're like, yeah, yeah, we know. But,
It's true.
it's loving and caring and really out of a compassion. Like they'll stop their whatever they're doing and just sit on the floor and just pull out stuff and say, oh, can I help you with this and this and this? And so how do you bring that kind of privilege and and self-aggrandizement to just like, oh my gosh, you all aren't using US standards? No.
Yeah,
And if that's what you need to be back in the US.
that's right. That's right.
It's
And
crazy.
it's something because everything I mean the reality of um growing up with a certain type of understanding in a very insulated kind of environment in the world. That's why, to go back to the fact that our children are global citizens, that's huge. To me, it's the gift that keeps giving
It is.
because the
It
world
really
is
is.
bigger than this place, than America. It's
Mm-hmm.
bigger. And I feel like the people that know that will be able to move through it beautifully. The ones that don't are going to really catch it. They go have a problem. They're
Mm-hmm.
going to have a problem. And yeah, it's tough because I'm such a Washingtonian. I'm a third generation Washingtonian. I refuse to have my daughter in Maryland. I was like, she got to be born in DC.
DC.
Like, you go into labor, we're gonna take you to the closest hospital. Like I'm such a Washingtonian. And whenever I'm here, I'm nostalgic for the childhood I had here and the big open family. And again, I was living in a bubble because I was like, I grew up in Chocolate City. I thought everybody thought we were fabulous. I was like, girl, that is not the case. You gonna
Mm.
have to get your mind adjusted because that's not how it is. But that's why I feel comfortable moving through the world because I don't feel the hostility in other parts of the world that I feel in my birthplace.
Wow.
Mm. I look forward to that feeling.
Yeah, and it is an amazing feeling. I think Carol and I can both speak to that.
Absolutely.
Mm.
Absolutely. It's humbling in so many ways that you didn't even know existed. And it brings you to us a grounding of what's really important. And really realizing that, the things that we've been fed were important, the things that we've been fed about other people and reasons why we're important, we're big and they're not, and all the things. You found out a lot of that was just propaganda from way back before you even knew your name. And you realize, like, I need to let all of that go and realize that the rest of the world needs to re-educate me about what it is to be a citizen, what it means to love my neighbor, what it means to really be my brother's keeper and be there for my sisters, right? Build community. all of
Mhm.
that gets redefined when you go into a different country and you see people for who they are. And it's just like, wow, people might be fighting for the trappings of the thing. I want to let go of those trappings. And so I can grow as a person and be a better woman
Ooh.
in this world, be a better mom, be a better wife, be a better neighbor, and help build that
Mm.
community because it's a beauty, it's such a beauty and such a love in that humility that I want to give that gift to everybody. I want to
Oh
be
my
like,
God, that
hey,
just washed over me.
yeah,
Like,
it's powerful.
yeah, that is, yeah, that's that I don't think I could have said that any better or more beautiful. It felt like warm water on my face.
Mm.
It is beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow, thank
Yes.
you so much. I really want to ask a couple of quick questions. I don't know if you had any other
Okay.
questions, Shannon, but I had a couple of really quick ones around like how, as you start to see your child grow and you start to see yourself in her, did you come to a revelation of your own journey of like understanding with her having a diagnosis and all the things and understanding what that brought for her in terms of support and all the things? Did you
Yes.
look back, did it cause you to look back on your growing up years, recognizing that without that understanding and lack of support, do you see yourself in that at all, and where does that bring you today in terms of how you understand who you are?
Um, I do think that I mean, looking back on my childhood and looking at my daughter's
Mhm.
uh childhood and growing up, I think I very strategically thought it was important for me to have this one child because I felt like if I had more, I wasn't going to be able to drill in with her
Mhm.
like I
Mhm.
was able to do. And she asked about siblings. And
Did she?
yes, and I was honest and I said, okay, so let's run down what I've been able to do. And I'm gonna tell you, I don't think I would have been. And she's like, okay, I'm good with
I
it.
see you. Appreciate it.
Okay, got it.
Got it.
But our I feel like our childhoods were that's such a good question because seeing her as an adult and thinking about my childhood and her childhood so different. And I raised my daughter very differently than my mother raised me. But I
Hmm.
think it's more about the times we were
Yes.
living in, right?
Mhm.
I felt like I was a bit of a latchkey kid. The independence
Yeah.
was, but it created the adult that I am, right?
Mhm.
Super independent. And then I feel like I've made it so I've created a foundation, a launch pad, so that my daughter could um, reach her goals. I
Mhm.
didn't want her to feel like everything was a struggle.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I think there's some good and bad to that, you know, because in these times we're living in where rights are being stripped from you. And I'm like, I don't even know what to tell you because these rights being stripped from you, I grew up with all those rights.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
And
don't
how do
even
I translate the world to you from a world that no longer really exists
exist.
anymore for
I
you?
I've been struggling with that, Carol, because I
Yeah.
don't even know what to tell her. Because I'm like, I don't know what it is to not have affirmative action. Like you're growing up without that. Like you're going into your adult life
Right.
without
Without
those,
that support.
without that foundational underpinning.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, and I think it goes back to what we said about our kids being international global people.
Yes. Yes.
There's a reason why they're like, I need to be somewhere else. Cause I don't know, y'all,
Because I don't
I
know
don't
what
know
y'all are
what y'all,
doing.
yeah, I don't know what y'all doing. Y'all don't know what y'all doing, and I don't know
And I don't know. And I'm not
what
going to waste my young adult years trying to
trying to
help you
figure
figure
that
it out.
out. Right.
Yeah, that's funny.
So
My
I'm
kids
going
will
to do
say
it.
that too. They're like, I don't know what's going on here in America, but I don't want any parts of it. Like,
You,
Are your kids saying that?
Oh yeah, they're like the
Um,
quality of life is better and so and so. They'll name the country and they're like, yeah, I'm gonna be figuring out my life over there and I'm gonna have this
Yeah.
kind of job because America's not where it's at.
Yeah.
and they're right. I mean,
Yeah.
to have the presence of mind to A, say that to you, Shannon, B,
Mhm.
they're right. That's the truth. And you got to wonder about, and I don't know. I don't know if our kids are unique or if that's like the thing with their peer group. I don't know.
I
Good
don't know.
question.
I don't
I,
know.
I feel like they're unique.
You're probably right because people like to do what they know,
Mm-hmm.
right? And what my mother and I were just talking about Harriet Tubman, who she is my North Star. She's my Shiro. I love her. And because I think about what she was able to do, and I'm like, some
Amazing.
days I can't get myself from A to B.
You and 20 other people?
Okay. And I'm like, you did left, came back for folks. Like, I mean, and
Yeah.
there's a scene in the most recent movie that was done about her, and they say the quote wasn't an exact quote, but when she went back for her sister, and her sister said, Harriet, everybody doesn't want to run. And the look on the
Mm,
actress's face was like, how is that possible? How do you not want to run from this, to get away from this? And
Ah,
that ties right into what you just said, Shannon.
oh,
It's
mm,
our kids are probably not the norm because people are doing what they know, what's familiar. They're taking and that scene came to mind, and the look on the actress's face that was playing Harriet Tubman, she was like, I had basically come back through the woods at night
to
with
come
mm,
get
stuff
you.
chasing me to get you, and you're
mm,
telling me you don't want to run from this.
mm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Wow.
a powerful thing. I mean, that just sends chills on my
Oh
spine
my
because
goodness.
think about this idea of what the United States used to be, and we are
Yeah.
still functioning and operating in that ideal. And
Yes.
there fundamentally the stage is being changed. They are changing the set on the stage. They are moving things
In the
around and
midst of it.
redesigning. And you're like, huh. So is it the idea of what it used to be isn't in function anymore? And so I need to now make that shift into what is happening before me. They're setting a stage for something different, and I
Mm,
don't have any kind of historical context to refer to figure out where I belong in all of that. And
Right.
you're right, our kids are sort of shining, holding the shining light and pointing the way and going, hey, hey.
Come
mhm,
this way. Yeah. Yeah, it's hard, and thinking about what it means to live abroad. Um, I have been definitely, because at first it was all just exciting, right? Like, this is great, and I've got a strategy and a plan for my family. And now that that's the priority where my life is the majority of the time. I mean, right now, out of 12 months, I'm there 10, right? And I'm back here just to do business when I have to, right? Whatever thing needs to get done. I'm trying to diversify my property, whatever here.
mhm,
But I am starting, and see, this is where you come in, Carol, because I'm like, I don't even know how to handle this. I'm starting to feel like I'm going to have some version of survivor's guilt.
mm.
Already there.
Already
We
Jeez,
there,
need to have a conversation. Yeah,
jeez.
we
Oh
need to
let
my
do
me
that.
tell you,
gosh.
because I think about the people that I love
Mm,
that
mm,
are going to still be here.
And it sits with you like a weight.
I nobody I it came over me like a wave. I was like, wait a minute. Am I supposed to be sitting in the sunshine with the mangoes dropping off my tree in my backyard and people trying to figure out how to eat?
mm,
I mean, I Did not plan for that. I didn't,
Wow.
my brain didn't prepare for that. So I'm
Mm.
so glad I bought that up, and that Carol, you're like already there, already there. So because I was like, I didn't know that was coming.
It's a conversation I think that needs to be had, right? It's where, there are some people that say, well, everybody can't just pick up and go. And I get that and I hear that, and that's real. But I also think, that there's people say, well, what am I supposed to do? And I think that that's the wrong question. I think that if you are determined, you have to determine what your safety is, what your tolerance is for safety. And if you feel like you can keep yourself safe in the midst of what's changing around you, and you're not even sure where it's going to land, like it's in transition, and you're not sure what it's going to look like once it's done transitioning, because even right now it's almost unrecognizable. But so it's hard to determine, how do I keep myself safe? How do I keep my family safe? How do I advise my kids to become adults in this country when I don't even recognize this country? It doesn't, all the rules and laws that I, grew up with don't even apply in many instances to this. So I can't even keep myself straight with it, much less advise, right? And so when you get to a place where you realize, like, oh, this is a lot. You've got to determine what your capacity is for safety, for your ability to stay safe and live within the midst of transition, and then begin to ask the question, where are the resources that I need to do X, Y, Z? Because when you change the question from what am I supposed to do, as with, almost kind of with a, like, somebody give me the answer and figure it out for me, versus I need to be in a safe space. Lord, show me what that looks like.
Looks
Send me
like.
resources. Open up conversations with people that can help me understand something that I don't know. There is so much out here that exists, but if we don't ask the right questions, if we don't touch the right people and say, "Hey, can you help me figure this out?" Ask and you shall receive. Seek and you shall find. Knock and the door will be open. If we
Yes.
never ask, if we just sit and say, somebody needs to hand it to me, figure it out, then that becomes the problem in and of itself. But once we break out of
Wow.
that idea and say, I need to ask the right questions, and I'm not even sure what to ask for, but I know that out here somewhere, there's got to be some resources or something to help me make this transition, because there's too many people that have done it already before me, and I'm not the first one, and I'm certainly not going to be the last. And so let me tap into that. Let me find out where that is. And once I connect to it, I got the engine for the passion to make it happen, right? Oh, word, say less. Okay, here we go. And
Yes.
making it happen. But I think that there's a heartbreak for those that won't ask, that don't want to know, that say, I'm good with whatever because, I'll just weather it out. And I'm wondering, can anyone weather that out? And so the heartbreak for me is so many people I love, so many people. I literally wake up at 2 and 3 in the morning praying and grieving because I want to be able to have these conversations with people. And I don't think that they're always necessarily wanting to have the conversation with me. And so I just wake up and pray. And I want to create space like this for these kinds of conversations, for people to feel comfortable with saying, you know what? I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't
Yeah.
have it like you have it. I promise you it wasn't like that. I woke up one day and said, can't do this. My husband and I
Yes.
looked at each other and said, we can't retire in this. And
Yes.
so we had to make, it was a lure. It wasn't just a leaving from someplace. I wanted to make sure we were leaving to someplace. And so
Someplace.
that part also is scary for folks. They're like, oh, I'm supposed to just up and go someplace I've never been. It's a work like anything else that's worth having, to say, I'm not running away from this. I'm leaving it, but I know that there's something better, and I really want to have my heart drawn to the better life that can be had, that people take for granted in other parts of the world, and we
Mm.
strive for. They put such a high price tag on it here and make it so unattainable that
Yes.
it's how dare you even aspire to have that? And then you go somewhere else and you see people like live like that all the time, and you go,
Oh,
wow,
wow.
really? The only regret that I have is I couldn't have gotten here sooner to live this life. But how much healthier would my body be? How much healthier would my, you know what I mean? Like I look at
Yes.
watch the folks walking down the mall, and you always can you see family groups. Always see mom and dad. You see the kids hugging, big kids, tall kids, older kids, hugging on their mom, holding their arm, holding their dad's hand, grandma and granddad pulling up the rear, and the dog, because here all the dogs, put their
This,
little shirts on and come to them. And so
yes.
I look at that and something about my heart grieves because I said, I wish I had been able to bring my family and have them grow up in that idea of what the family, nucleus looks like, and we are led to believe that that doesn't exist anywhere else except here,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone else lives in these sort of sub.
You need to do a whole session just on that because my heart has been so heavy and with it, and to hear you talk about that and give it some texture for me
Mhm.
because I've been struck. I'm like, but to just hear you say, like, ask the question, see what the person wants, what they feel like they can do. I haven't been doing that because I feel like every time I say something, it doesn't seem like the right thing, or are they going to say everybody doesn't want to do, what you're doing?
Right,
But
right.
but even if, like you say, if they don't even know what the answer is to the question, just know that, yeah, you can ask it, and they can sit with it or come back to you with it. So I so appreciate
Absolutely,
that because I
absolutely.
had not was not
It's
a thing that I thought was coming with
it's a
that.
surprising thing that you tempers you down. It counterbalances the excitement and the joy. I'm here and I'm doing the things and I'm living the life, and then you kind of have this other side of you, the heartbreak of like, well, I have a son that my two sons, we all moved here, all four of us. We had two of us, my husband and I, thinking about retirement. My other two sons were thinking about like, okay, how are we going to launch?
Build a life.
Right. My youngest son
Mm-hmm.
said, okay, this is out. He went back to the US. And so I respect him and his adulthood to be able to do that. Does my heart break? Yes.
Of
You know?
course.
And so so he represents all of the people that I care about. All of the
Oh, wow.
and so how do you live your life? And we had talked about this earlier part of the year, about how 2026 was going to be a year of extreme highs and extreme lows. And so, in the midst of these joys and these exciting things happening, you're having to hold this space for this high and then also these heartbreaking lows at the same time. And it does something to you. There's a space in yourself that you didn't know existed that can hold these two extremes simultaneously and still lean into both, and something about you grows in ways that you never imagined. And it really is humbling. It is humbling. And I'm really excited for having these kinds of conversations to be able to bring people to an awareness. I'm not saying that everybody needs to up and go. I personally believe that, but I think that everyone is not going to want to do that. And I
Right.
accept that and respect that. I also will say, be intentional about that decision. Don't be the person that sits and says, I'll just wait until I figure it out, until somebody tells me to figure it out, because by then things will be in motion to a place where you may or may not be able to make your intentional choice.
Mm-hmm.
Choose what you want to do. If you choose to go, then there are going to be people and resources that will come and just start being drawn into your life, and they will help you make that happen. But if you want to stay, then you will draw people into your life that will help figure out community, help you build that, and help you figure out how to be safe. And we'll bond together and we'll get through this together and we will weather it together. But when you do neither, you sit in a place of vulnerability where things can happen to you and there's nobody to come and support and protect and help you. And
That's
that's
so
the message I
powerful.
really want to get out.
Yes. And that's the part. I'm like, yeah, because that's what I see. I'm like, okay, you've decided to sit in this, but what you doing? I don't see no community. Everything you just said, everything you just, and that's probably where the angst is coming from because I'm not seeing what you just laid out. If I saw that, I'd be less angst.
Yeah,
I feel like
intentionality is
you got
everything,
a
right?
plan. Yeah,
I
you're
choose to
working
do it
this
10
thing
toes
out.
down. I'm gonna do this thing.
Yeah,
I
yes.
love that for you. Plan though. Get your, you talk about the preppers. One of the reasons why people don't want to listen to a lot of things that are being said is because, oh, you're fear mongering. Oh, you're this or you're that. It's like, yes, but I want you to drill down beyond all of the labeling and craziness, dismissiveness, and find a sense of like, where's the core truth in it, right? Like the preppers didn't just wake up one day and say, I think I just want to build prepper and stuff because I just think I got nothing to do with my life. They found a truth that scared them and said, I need to be ready for it. I ain't mad at
Whether
that.
it comes or
Whether it
not,
comes
I
or
need to
not,
prepare.
doesn't matter. But I will be ready. And so the intentionality is what brings your decision making into action. You say, I intend to stay here. What do I need to make sure that that continues to happen? I'm gonna
Hmm.
connect with this community. I'm
Woo.
gonna go over here and get these resources. I'm gonna make sure my space is hacked up, like tricked out. I got all kind of water. I got all kind of everything, right? Because I'm choosing that life. Or if I say, this is too much for me, I just can't figure all the answers out. I want resources to help me to relocate to another place and embrace that place. Don't bring all that stuff with you and say, how come I can't make this like the US? Don't do that. Come here embracing the newness of because it's hard to move, right? It's hard to go forward. But I
Hmm.
promise you, you will never, ever, ever hear anyone say, I'm going to stay in this burning house because I'm afraid of what might be in some other house. I'm not sure about all that. So I'm just going to stay here because I know what this is.
That's so
Nobody
Hmm.
true.
gets in a burning building and stays there because of the familiarity, because of my history, because of all that I had done in this wonderful space and it's burning around me. It's burning and it's burning me.
So, do you feel like people don't realize it's burning?
I think some people don't realize it's burning. Some people think that, oh, it's always burned before and we've always put it out. And so we'll just do that then. I think there are
Mm,
some people that realize it's burning, it's changing, it's not coming back and have a hopelessness about their ability to tap into a larger resource outside themselves and make a change and break from it. So there are different,
wow.
different, different types of mentalities that can hold people back, tie people down. There's like, well, there's history here. There's all these things. All of that's well and good, but if it's burning, it's going to burn you, and you don't
That's
need
the
to
perfect analogy.
go there.
Hmm.
Wow, I didn't think I was going to get a therapy session. But I appreciate it. Woo!
We love it. We love it. We all get something out of this. That's also one of the
Man,
things, the wonderful things about this conversation that happens is I've come here and my cup has been filled by so many women that have come through here and just poured their heart out. And I try to do the same and bring that same energy. So
big
I
time.
appreciate everything
Wow.
you shared with us as well.
Definitely. And
Thank
I
you guys
would,
so much.
yeah, and I would say thank you as well. And for both of you for continuing to drop the seeds, even though folks are not receiving it. I think the more that we hear you talk about your experience living abroad and running your businesses and still, parenting and all the things and seeing that it's possible, it helps take the unknown. I think for me, it's always like, I don't like change, and especially not a big change. But my husband is different. And he's like, what we doing and how fast can we do it? And as
Right.
soon as Carol moved to Mexico, he was like, where she live at? We need to find out.
There's
We
a
need to
golf
do
course down the
something.
street. I promise
He
you, it's
said,
really nice.
he said, is there a golf course? I'm like,
Got
I
him. Got him
said,
covered.
yeah, Carol said there was a golf course. He was like,
Mm-hmm.
we got to go. We got to go at least
Wow.
visit. So he's already somewhere else. And thankfully, we've been kind of moving our life to a way where we won't be stuck. Like we're trying to be more flexible, kind of
Yeah.
liquidate some things
Yeah.
and come up with a plan. That's always Carol's thing. Like, what's the plan? What's the plan? Come up with a plan so that you don't have to panic, at the
Yeah.
last minute. So the more I hear you all talk about it, the more it keeps my wheels turning in the right direction of like, don't get stuck and don't
Right.
let someone else run. I feel like living here, I just feel like we're just letting people run our lives and run us into the ground. That's
It's
how
the
it
truth.
feels. It's just
That's what's
painful.
happening.
It's
It is.
painful.
And
Yeah.
it's interesting that you say, Shannon, that you're not a person that's big on change. I'm into astrology. Everybody in this house is an earth sign, including the dog. Don't nobody like change
Mm,
up in here.
Oh,
right.
But we're like, you gotta kind of do what you need to do. And
Hmm.
I think that's, I'm so appreciative of the I like you come into something not knowing what to expect, but I certainly just feel like this feels like community.
mhm.
Mm.
And I feel like I'm walking away with so much more than I bought. So I
Oh,
thank you both
Mm.
for that.
I'm so grateful. Let me tell you
Um,
one thing about being a neurodivergent person and a neurodivergent woman wanting to keep everything comfortable,
yeah.
not
Mm.
liking change. The
Hmm.
thing that kept, I had lived in my dream house. We waited decades. We loved looking around for homes and all that. And we finally moved into our dream home. Loved it. Had a sweet set. We were about to buy new, like automatic shades in the kitchen. And we looked at each other and
Mm.
said, yeah, we're not going to do this. And the
Mm.
one thing that helped me let go was, what do I need to hold on to save our lives?
Mm.
Everything I put my hand on in that house was nothing that was going to
Mm.
save our lives.
Ooh,
And when I got to that place, I could let it all go.
Wow.
Bags, shoes, clothes, all of it, furniture, all of it. Packed the dog and the cat, two kids and a husband. And we said,
I knew you were serious when we met you in
deuces.
Alexandria and you gave me a Dooney and Burke bag. I
You're like,
said,
she leaving.
I said, she is serious.
I mean that thing. I mean that thing. I had
Yeah,
several, and they were like, you get a bag, you get
you
a bag,
can
you get a bag. I'm out.
the Oprah moment. You're like, you can get one.
She did.
Yes, I did. Pulled it all out. And we had, after we did all that purging, had like 20 roller bags of
Of thing.
luggage. And the lady looked at us and said, so when are you returning? I said, do you see the cat,
We're
the dog, and all
not.
these bags?
Ooh.
We're not. She's like, exactly.
Mm.
So yeah, when you frame it correctly, when you ask the right question, it
Yeah,
will drive everything that you need. It will draw people you need, and it will drive you to do the hard things that are uncomfortable. And I promise you, every time you step into that space, what you give up doesn't begin to compare with what you get in return.
right.
So
No, that's so true.
let that be an encouragement for you.
Absolutely. And I will be sharing this. I'm glad you're recording it because I'm like, I know what to say, but I'm gonna let you listen to somebody say it better. Tell
Oh,
me how to say it, but I'm gonna let you hear her say it. So
oh my gosh.
that's
Yeah.
gonna be
She's a
really
blessing.
needed. I feel like as we progress closer, and I have angst about these upcoming elections, right? And
Hmm.
what that's going to the point where because I ideally would love Scott to just come and be in Costa Rica, but she's like, I don't know where I want to be in the world yet, right? Which is great. But I was like, I bought you a ticket the week before the election in case you feel like you need to.
Hello.
And you know what she said? Thanks. Because she present enough to know that crap is. She's like, thank you.
I appreciate it.
Yes.
Appreciate
Yes.
that.
Hmm. Hmm.
I
Because
love
we're not
that.
going to sit up here and pretend like we going to have some normal stuff
Hmm.
going on in November.
Now, the things that are broken are going to take a lot more to rebuild and replace.
Yeah,
And what will come
yes.
back, what will be replacing it won't be similar to what it used to be.
No, and
And
hopefully it'll be
so,
better.
hopefully,
And hopefully, these young people we've brought into this world will see something better. But right now it ain't better. We not at better. We ain't reached
Not
that yet. We're not at that point yet. So, and can it grow and be something better?
it
Sure,
will.
but
Yeah.
we not right there right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
We
so
get
Mm.
there.
Well, we are coming to our destination
thank you,
of
ladies.
this
Thank
very
you. We
rich
appreciate you.
conversation. Yeah, I want to make sure that we have your website.
Okay. Do I put that in the chat? Let me see.
Yep. And
I
if
need
you are not able, I can as well. I can put
Okay,
it
but
in there.
how where let me just see. Oh, I see chat. Hold on. I
There
am
you go.
not
Yeah.
good at this, but I'm
Yep.
gonna click on it. Oh, and I can just type it right in.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yep.
Yep.
Okay, let's
And
see.
then what we'll do is we're building the website with a page of women in our community, our business, and we'll highlight your business with your links and all the things in that space.
Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, wait, I just typed my name and hit return. Sorry, but I'll put that.
Oh, I see it.
Okay, hold on.
That's
So
cool.
just
Take your time. Take your time.
by
Take your time.
and then yeah, everything else. This is the website, by yeah. So that's the website, and everything else is linked. The Instagram is linked on there. Um,
Wonderful.
and then the YouTube, I'll send you that, Shannon, the YouTube, because I don't remember what the address is. I don't know what the
Okay.
handle is for that, but I'll send you that. And I'll send you I have the YouTube for the business, but I just launched a pop-up shop called it'll be live August 1st. It's called
Wow.
Sage, SAGEDC. Because when I
Wow.
came here and saw all the crazy people up in our museum, I was like, we need to go down there with some sage. I don't know what's going on in there. And I said, oh, I'm gonna make some t-shirts. Tote bags and t-shirt. And it's a pop-up shop. So I'll send you
Oh,
the link to that too.
that sounds
I love
amazing.
it.
Yeah,
I
I was
love
like, oh,
it.
we need to be able to like wear the sage and walk with it wherever we
Yes.
are to
Mm-hmm.
get that
Mm-hmm.
positive. Yes, yes.
What's going on?
So I'll send you that, and I'll send the Insight Timer one too.
Yes, sounds
Please. Those are
perfect.
the courses that you teach, right?
Yes. So the Insight Timer are small meditative. I have a whole series of meditations for your spaces. So
Oh,
like for your
wonderful.
Wow. Get out of
bedroom, for your
here.
yeah, because I'm like, that's my
What?
business, right? I do
Mm-hmm.
so there's one for every room in your house, for your office, for every space.
Wow.
Yeah.
That
Amazing.
sounds
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, and then the new ones that are coming to Insight Timer are called a word. And it's just a
Mm.
word that comes to me and I speak on it for about 2 minutes.
Ooh, I
And
like that.
yeah, it's like to set intentions for your day as you move through the day. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'll send
That
you
is
the
really something.
yeah, I
That
love
is,
that. I love that. And it's funny because it's one of those things where you're like, I'm gonna put this out there and then it's weird, it gradually and it's this because you get paid for it, right? The more people that view it,
Oh, okay.
mhm.
right? And initially I was like, oh, I got a check for $5, that's cute. And then over time it starts to grow because people it becomes part of their meditation,
Oh, I see. I
Mhm.
right?
see.
And so there
Right.
and every time it's viewed it gets so
Get some money.
yeah, it's great for that. It sits right there and I love it because it's things that I do in my own house. I be trying not to put stuff out there. I don't tell people to do stuff I don't do. I'm not telling, I'm like, people don't eat chocolate. I'm like, I eat chocolate. I'm not telling nobody not to eat no chocolate.
Me and you girls both eat some chocolate together.
Chocolate. So that's my starting and like I'm trying not to put stuff out there that I'm not doing myself. So
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
yeah. Yeah. So I'll share
Wow.
those links with you guys too.
Thank you so
Thank
much. I
you
Thank
so
you,
appreciate you.
much.
ladies. It was so great. It was great to see you
It's
both.
such
Thank
a
you for
great
the
thing.
invitation.
You're very welcome.
I
Thanks for
Thank
appreciate
you.
joining
you.
us and all that you shared with us.
Thank
And
you.
we greatly really appreciate it.
No,
So,
Okay, I
thank you.
appreciate you guys
You're
so
formally a
much.
part of the Mocha Cup family now, so you
Yay,
know
thank you.
who
Don't
is
tell
here.
my daughter. She don't be trying to share, but it's too late.
too late.